Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone, to the seventh episode of The Grind. I am here with Jaren. No guest today, but just Jaren and I. How are you doing, Jaren?
Um, Man, I'm tired. I'll be honest. It's been a hectic last week or so. So,
Yeah, yeah.
hope
I'm tired
go
today
ahead.
too. If you guys normally catch up with the cast on YouTube, there's going to be no video today. It's just going to be audio. You obviously know that if you're watching this on YouTube, but I normally have a setup where you can see my face and I'm like making finger guns and cringing at my failed runs and stuff. But that'll be back, just not for this episode.
Yeah. So, we have a couple decent things I think that we want to talk about and cover today. Stuff that we've definitely come across in our own experiences at different intervals, just playing the game, and we'll touch on a few things on dungeons and kind of the mindsets and fusion stuff and Toa as well. So we've got
Yeah.
quite a bit of content planned out, I think. But first, just want to talk about some summons or whatnot from the last week. Have you had anything, Keith? That's any
Uh,
decent lightnings or anything?
yeah. So I'll first say that I broke my New Year's resolution, right? One of them,
Oh,
which was
geez.
don't summon any premium pack. Um, and they're addictive. They're actually, side story before I tell you what I got on my premium pack. I shared some of the stuff that I got in my premium pack. It was a gnarly premium pack. No Nat fives, but it was an insane premium pack, and I'll explain. I'm really 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 hyped for it. But I was sharing some of it in our Discord, and then immediately like people started summoning premium packs and getting nothing. Because just the fact that I had summoned a premium pack and gotten something good was just too much, and it pushed some dudes over the edge. We probably
Yeah,
probably
it's
wasted
kind of
like
funny.
5,000 crystals between everyone in the Discord. Um,
You're
but yeah, so
welcome. Come to
I
us.
yeah, I know, right? There you go, guys. you know, give me more lightnings, and I'll get people to summon more premium packs. Please don't do that. That's not what I want. Yes. So I summoned a premium pack. RIP New Year's resolution. You lasted, you know, a little over 2 weeks. Um, and
About
this
the
is a
average
question.
time that most resolutions last. So,
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was gonna stick to it, and then I just like something happened in my brain, and I was just like, screw it, man. I have 5,000 crystals right now. I'm gonna summon a premium pack. I was trying to 6-star something, and I was like 3 or 4 3 stars away from 6 starring. That was my justification. Like this premium pack's gonna get me my 6 star. But you can think about it, Jaren. The question I'm gonna ask you is after this is like, what's like your most insane premium pack? Because I would say this is probably my most insane premium pack. So anyway, enough like building it up. Basically, I got a premium pack. You get 11 scrolls in it, and then man, dude. So the very first summon from it, I think was like an awakened fire Inugami, like Raok or whatever I think his name was, and I was like, okay, sweet, that's a 4-star fodder. Like I'll take that. And then I skipped 2 or 3 in a row, and then I skipped a Chloe, which I don't have a Chloe. New Nat 4, right? Chloe, the Epicon priest. I know Jaren uses her, and I know she's like super good in a bunch of places. She gives immunity, she gives invincibility, she's super broken and oppressive and awesome. And I did not have her, so I was like, I skipped it. I didn't take a screenshot of it. And at this point, I was still debating. I'm like, do I even admit that I summoned a premium pack? Like I'm 4 scrolls in or something. And I'm like, well, I missed the screenshot, so I guess I could pretend like I didn't summon a premium pack. And then yeah, and then very very next scroll is another lightning, and it's Galleon, right? So
oof.
530 days or something it took me to get Galleon, but at that point I was like, what the fuck? Like this pack is nuts. Like
Yeah.
Chloe and Galleon, like 2 new Nat 4s. I don't know. I think like that at that point I took a screenshot of just the Galleon summon, and I'm like, I don't care who knows. Like I'm telling everyone about this pack. And then the like the very next 2 summons, or basically almost immediately, the next 2 summons were both one was like a fire kung fu girl, and the other was a wind kung fu girl, right? So I used them both as skill ups for my water kung fu, but like basically 4 lightnings and an awakened Nat 4 in the same
3
premium pack, and two of those 4 lightnings were 2 brand new Nat 4s I'd never had, and the other 2 were very needed skill ups. So
yeah, and they weren't just like new Nat 4s. They were both like meta relevant Nat 4s. And like some people may argue against Chloe being meta relevant or whatever, but like she definitely is used, especially in lab. Like she's very strong in lab and siege as well. So take what you will from that. That's a fantastic session.
Yeah, I mean, I think she is meta relevant. Like I'm definitely going to use her in some interesting places. Like and just having that option, right? And finally, the place that she's used, which I mean, I don't know some of the other pieces, but the other place that she's used is like in the R5 team with Katarina, So I could fuse Katarina right now, and it's like, I mean, Chloe enables Katarina. I mean, maybe not with my monsters and rune quality, but like as a whole, she's super without Chloe, you can't kata R5. That's not you don't do that. So she's very relevant on that front too.
Beyond R5, even like siege, that's if you outspeed an automatic dub right there. So I think the only speed lead that gives an attack boost, I think, is Galleon. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. It's the only one that I have.
An attack buff.
Yeah, an attack buff. Sorry, he's speed lead with an attack buff. And
I don't know. And Galleon's speed lead is only in guild, right?
Yeah, well, and that's why I was saying in siege. So you run like a Galleon, Katarina, Chloe, and it's hard to get outsped with that if you've got a decently ruined Chloe. So anyway, just my thoughts. But like,
and Galleon is just insane and amazing. Like I've gone 530 days or something without a Galleon. All my dungeon teams are built around me not having him, and now it's like I can just, I can do cookie cutter dungeon teams. I can do whatever, like there's, I don't know. I think I'm definitely at this stage of the game too, where like pulling a Galleon right now, like he makes sense, like I can just immediately insert him into my Giants team, and it's either going to make it faster or more consistent or allow me to consolidate more runes and not have to build weird things.
Well, I think like the part that it seems like you're focusing on is PvE, because you've been without a Galleon in PvE for so long, but you have the twins, and like you said, you've built around not having him, and like you have successful speed teams, and maybe it feels weird or whatever, but at the same time, like I feel like Galleon really opens up a lot for you in like the PvP side of the game, and you're not going to use them in RTA, which I know is your focus, but if you look at siege, like siege is still important for progression to a degree.
I suppose so. Yeah,
and stuff. So that's, I think, where you're going to get more benefit immediately out of him than in dungeons. I think.
Maybe I can use him in Guild Wars, like a good Guild Wars team, because I did just we'll talk about that too. I just 6-starred Bulldozer, so I have Copper Bulldozer up and running now. And maybe I can come up with some other, Galleon team. I get it. Like I can pair him with, like, it'll give me a reason to like build my Pungbeak or whatever. There's reasons for Galleon, but I mean, like the idea of like Galleon helping in siege, it's like, woo, I won 1 tower, like, I don't know. I don't, either I'm screwed in siege or I can win the towers regardless. Like I can either use my trash and beat it or not. But like, I kind of get it, on that, but I'm just not, it doesn't excite me. like PvP against someone who is asleep or like not at their computer or on their phone or not paying, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't excite me. I want to be able to like violent proc and do something stupid and then know that they're tilted, like know that a human being saw that and got tilted. Where like Guild Wars and Siege and Arena are just recipes for you to tilt yourself, like there's only one human being that can get tilted when you're playing those 3 modes, and that's you, So maybe that's a little rude of me, but I mean, I'm basically playing against myself in all those other modes, which is why I don't focus on them or think about them. But I know Galleon is. I mean, that's the thing. Galleon is, even if he doesn't fit in a dungeon team, which he will fit in my Giants team right away. He's worth it in a million other places. So obviously, I'm really happy. I think Galleon was like the monster I've spent the most pain trying to get and not having. And I'm glad to be in like the new era of, I don't know what I'm suffering to get now, like Talia or something, maybe. I'm not.
Speaking of Talia, she is in the newest summoning rotation.
I saw that. Yeah, like what, 20, 21 days, 20 days from now or something, she'll be up. So I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be saving, saving stones. So that'll be super sweet, I guess. I don't know. I feel better. I feel better about stone rotations now that Galleon is not like a factor for me. I still love like a Chassoon. If you're listening, give me a Chassoon, please, so I don't have to do stones for that either. But
yeah,
I'm thrilled.
Chassoon is very strong. I do love my Chassoon. It's one of my favorite monsters that I have because she's just, oh my goodness, she's so oppressive with the heals.
And she is, man. I like in Siege and shit like that. Like I don't even. I mean, there's occasionally I'll hit like a Chassoon tower, but like there's that point in Siege where like you'll hit maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 towers, and then you're like, okay, I've used everything good, and now I have to like come up with something that will work for this tower. And if there's a Chassoon in the tower, I'm like, nope. Like also, I mean, same with Kamoon though. Legitimately, he's super broken. I mean, you know, everyone knows Kamoon is super broken.
Yeah, and then paired with the Chassoon, it's even
yeah.
Cancer.
I mean,
like honestly, those two alone, like you can. It's like Kamoon and Chassoon +1, and you've got a great setup no matter who you really put there. Preferably a damage dealer, I guess, but still.
Yeah, but I mean, it literally could be anything, and it's still gonna freaking crush. So that's good. I use my 5-star Kamoon. Randomly, like I'll just be like, I'll just like throw him in a Siege team, and he makes it like super easy for me to win sometimes. I don't know, it's good. It's all good. Everyone knows that. I don't know what we're talking about right now. How about you, man? Have you 6-starred anything? I know I spoilered that I 6-starred Bulldozer, but like, have you summoned anything cool? Have you 6-starred stuff? Any good runes? What's been going on with you, luck wise, summon wise, etc.?
I've really had no good runes. I did have like a triple speed roll the other day on a 6-star.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like 20 on a Fatal, right?
Yeah, and so that's not bad. And it had like an attack sub as well, slot 1. So, you know, it's a decent rune, but nothing just like insane. I did 6-star my Beretta finally.
Woo, dude. It's about time.
Honestly, I almost didn't because I summoned Elsharion the other day. But I was looking at my box and I was like trying to figure out like what's going to help me the most next.
Yeah.
And everything that I had was either like PvP oriented or just not ready to be built yet or something along those lines. And so it's like I really have like nothing that's going to like enable me to run speed dragons. I have nothing that's going to like be game changing for me in any other form. And so at that point I was like, just do Beretta. It's the right choice, and you know it. And like had to like pep talk myself because I just didn't want to do it.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. You've been fighting the 6-star Beretta for over a year now. So
and I like still even in Toa, like I'm using Beretta Toa hard. Like I'm using her, but in the later stages, like it's only during the boss stages. And in the boss stages, like she does a really good job, especially paired with Verad on like keeping the boss from ever moving. So it's like it is really useful in that aspect, but I've just been running like a safe auto team with a Vero in place of her instead. And like it is slow, but at the same time, like if I'm doing it at work, I can't really pay too much attention anyway, so I'll just use it to auto so I don't lose. But yeah, like I said, I did summon Elsharion. I'm excited to 6-star the next few 6-stars because at this point I get to like do PvP based monsters and not like feel bad about it. Like I'm losing progression.
That's a really nice feeling for sure. I mean, you're a bit over 20 6-stars now, right? Is that where you're at?
I think that was the 20th. I could be wrong, could be off count, but I think that was right at 20.
Yeah, because if I just like winging it without looking at anyone's account, it's like by the time you between 20 and 30 6-stars feels really nice, and it's like a really great motivation to start 6-starring stuff because you're looking at nat 5s that you Wow, that was weird. My computer went to sleep. You're looking at like Nat 5s that you hadn't had a justification to 6-star yet. You're looking at PvP toys. You're looking at, you're starting to build things that aren't just like Toa and Dungeon,
Yeah.
and that's a really, really wonderful feeling. So, I think you're going to be super motivated. Like your next 26 stars, you're going to be super motivated to pump out, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Like I'm already considering what I want to do. And to a degree, it's like I already have like some pretty clear choices. Like Amelia.
Yeah.
Immediately useful in Siege, immediately useful in RTA and stuff. So like she's definitely up there. I've also got Leica. I'm gonna 6-star him. I don't know how soon, but like he's definitely up there as well. And then there's also like considering like some of the stuff you've built, like Leica, for instance, and then being able to like counterpick him now in RTA from you. So it's like
build your RTA strategy to counterpick me. But the reason I really like Leica, just as a side note, is I don't have a good candidate for my vampire runes. Like I could theoretically put them on my XL or whatever in R5, but like it doesn't matter because she's back line, and you know what I mean. Like it really, like, I mean, as far as vampire runes go, Leica is the shit. Like he's the one to put them on.
Don't you have a Rakan?
I do, but they don't share the same runes. Rakan needs HP, needs not HP. So if a rune will fit on Rakan, it does not go on my Leica. Like they completely do not share the same rune. They shouldn't share the same runes. I'm sure, like maybe like and then that's the thing is Rakan is like he's built basically HP, or like HP crit damage HP, depending on how you build him. Whereas Leica is, I'm doing speed, crit damage, attack. And, some people do attack, crit damage, attack. But either way, there's very little overlap between Rakan and Leica. And so the idea is like, it's almost like a free set of runes. Like your vampire runes basically just get thrown now, probably. And if you build your Leica, you can throw your vampire runes on Leica, and he's actually super strong, with just a vampire set and some attack and stuff. So I think he's really fun and worth building. And also, his freaking S2 or whatever, man, has a 2-turn cooldown. Like if you devil him, it's a really wonderful feeling to have that thing like off cooldown basically every other turn. It's wonderful. Yeah. He's great. I love Leica.
That makes sense. I probably won't devil mine. It's just I've got so much stuff to devil at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'll probably wait on skill ups for him because I don't know that I'll necessarily like they're not like crucial skill ups. Like he doesn't need them to function. Like Amelia needs skill ups. Like to really. Does
Amelia need skill ups?
Yeah, because all of the
I guess the cleanse is what you need it for.
Yeah, and like I said, like all of the unicorns are made to like get into human form, do their thing, and then be able to get back quickly to pony form. I mean,
Amelia just lives in human form. She never needs to change forms.
Well, she changes
in my
forms,
opinion.
1 to cycle cooldowns, and then 2. She also puts a defense buff up on the team. So, if you get a violent proc off that defense buff, then you've buffed the team, you've transformed back, and now your team has immunity. So,
I don't know, man. I think Amelia, in my opinion, Amelia should be on Swift, and she should be like the tankiest Swift set you have. And you put her in human form, and she lives in human form, and your whole team is perma immunitied, and that's it. And like, if some shit goes if shit gets real, then she cleanses, and that's it. She never she's a human. She's not a unicorn, in my opinion. The way that I've seen her used, at least. I don't have her. Maybe there's alternative ways to use her, but she's not. Anytime I fight one or see someone use her, she's not like the fire pony or the wind pony where you're constantly like, oh, go into human form, use my nuke, go back into horse form, stun something, violent proc into human form again. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't have that the way I've seen her use. She doesn't go off like that. She wants to be iterating her turns as fast as possible to keep the immunity buff up on your team the whole time, and then also wants to like bait people into hitting her because, oh, look at her in human form, but she still tanks you anyway because she's broken. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to look. I honestly I haven't done nearly as much like PvP watching observing as you have. So, I mean, I'm sure that's probably correct. But I also know some of the streamers you watch prefer to have theirs on Swift too. So, I don't know. We'll see. But either way, her cleanse gets the skill ups, and her defense buff, which is it can be certainly helpful. Who else do I have? Gosh, Bolverick skilling up his S1 with 12 Devils into S1.
Whew. Yeah, he's I mean, he's a very strong dude. I've been fighting him a bit, and with the right team comp, or like people pick him, like I'll pick double immunity, right? Like that's like I'll pick a Wusa, and then my next 2 picks will be like a, I don't know, like a Tessa and a Chilling or something, depending on their team. Tessa and whatever, doesn't matter. 2 DPS, and then they'll be Chilling or whatever, and then my last 2 picks will be like Fran, and then at that point they'll almost, like, anyone who has a Bolverick will be like, okay, they'll just pick it immediately. Even versus just Wusa, he is a nightmare to face. He's really strong because you can just build him as tanky as possible, and he does percentage nukes and heals your whole team, and it's like, what the hell? Broken.
Yeah, so I plan on like really being able to like counter immunity, because I don't have any great immunity buffers. I will end up building Fran probably sooner rather than
she's
later.
Wonderful, man. Like, definitely don't hesitate. Like, she's free to skill up, she's free to get, and she's super strong, even on like a leftover set. She's incredible.
Right. So I'll build her, but on top of that, like I really hope Elsharion is going to be like a decent Wusa counter. And I know how he works, but I think it'd be really cool to be able to use him to counter pick Wusas, and certainly like Bella Jules as well.
I mean, he's super strong, and that's the nice thing about Elsharion is like he has that strip. I mean, it doesn't even need to be Wusa. He's gonna be clearing will runes. He's gonna be clearing, shields. He's gonna be clearing whatever you need off the enemy defense buffs. And then he also has an armor break, which is like kind of surprisingly tough to get, at least for me. Like, I have a hard time, like if I can't pick my Tessa, and my Theo is not ruined again, even though I keep talking about how I'm going to ruin him. Well, I did not. If I can't pick my Tessa, or my, I have nothing. I have no armor break. And if they ban my Tessa, I have no armor break. Like, Elsharion has a million uses and provides that, that armor break, that cheeky armor break that is super necessary to like do a bunch of good stuff and kill things. So he's great. He's going to be great for you.
I want to build him, and depending on the team comp too, but I know like there are plenty of teams out there that focus on sometimes buffing their own units, like Wusa and Bella, for instance. So I plan on like running him with like Bolverick and some buff heavy counter picks. Think that'd be really cool and really exciting. So anyway, like, as the too lazy didn't listen of all that is, I've got a lot of cool units to build, and I'm finally to the point where like I can build a unit without like having necessarily like a solid progression based reason for it, which has been my entire existence playing Summoner's War so far. So I think that's going to be really exciting.
It is. I mean, I'm already excited for you. So you're gonna feel it more and more too as you like keep building stuff and feeling better about it. It's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah.
But so we talked about it a little bit. How's Toa going for you? Because I want to talk about my struggle a little bit, but we can ask you first.
Still haven't cleared, and actually that's something I meant to bring up when you ask about some of the summons that I had too, which we got crazy derailed there. None of that was planned, FYI. Didn't plan on going into that. But I summoned the Lightning Kobold Bomber. Is that how you say it?
The what? The Lightning?
Lightning. The wind. The
Wind Kobold Bomber. Got it. All right. That was a different story. That's unexpected ending to that surprise story. I was like, bro, you got an L&D Lightning, and then you got Dover. Like, tell me more. But apparently not.
No, it's Taurus. I don't know. Apparently, he's good on like PvP offense. Well, I don't take this website as seriously at all, really. But it has helped to at least like look at base stats and see how some of the skills work. But he does have a 4-turn AoE, bomb, and stun on his S2, and then his S3 increases skill cooldowns for a turn, also for a turn cooldown fully skilled. So and then like his S1 damage increases by 15% for each harmful effect, which that's what Toa is stacking harmful effects. So I've debated, like, do I have a place to put him in my Toa team? Like,
I think the answer is no.
I think so too.
I think 100% the answer is no. But it is it's an interesting thought. Go on, tell me more about this.
Yeah, like, I might end up building him for PvP just for AoE bombs, like 420% scaling.
Yeah, I got killed by him and Triton, the wind stripper.
Yeah.
In RTA the other day, like I picked Wusa, and then they picked like Triton Bomber, or like they picked like Ciara Triton, and then they picked like him and something else. And anyway, the moral of the story is I think I banned Ciara, and then they just stripped me with Triton and put the bombs on, and I had no cleanse. And that was it. That was the end. That was the end of the RTA match because he hit really hard. It was over.
So, you say that's interesting, but just a small clarification. So Triton is the Wind Sea Emperor, not the Wind Stripper. I don't think Stripper is an in-game monster. Although if you look at...
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, yes, but he is a stripper, he strips.
I'm just messing with
the Stripper Sea Emperor, man, the one that's... there's one that does that thing, the tripping thing. But,
so... Another quick side note: why is he not like used more? Like an AoE strip just seems strong to me.
No one uses any strippers except for Tiana or oracles.
Why?
Because they don't bring enough other things, and their strip is not consistent.
Okay.
So like, Tiana is a 100% strip. Like 100% of the time, she will strip everything, and she will attack bar boost your team, which is why people use her.
Yeah,
but any team that requires a strip to function wants a 100% strip, and people will pick a double stripper. Whereas like Oracle's, the reason they're used is they have a ton of great utility. If you think about them, right? Like Juno has her place, and she can, you can pick a Juno and you can strip the other team, and then also be like a weird counter to like, harmful effects. And then if you look at like Praha. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. There's a million reasons. And like Praha, she has the heal. She has, you know what I mean. Like their strips are super strong. Like their strips are just as strong as Triton, but like he has what, like a 2-turn silence is his other skill, which is like, it's cool, but it's like you want him to be fast to strip, so he's not going to be on violent. He's not going to be going off on people. I mean, he's fine. I've seen him be used, but the thing is like, people want consistent strips, and maybe these strippers are coming into the forefront, now that Molong is not a consistent strip. But it was like, if you're going to bring an inconsistent strip, you're going to bring one with the utility of Molong, you're going to, and there's no one who competes with that. Like there's a 2-turn silence doesn't compete, with, AoE stun and 70% nuke and armor break. So,
yeah. Well, that makes sense. Anyway, sorry to derail, but yeah, I pulled him, and I've been looking at my Toa team and like trying to like piece it together still and figure out like how I really want. And I know like Toa teams change from stage to stage sometimes, but figuring out what I want.
Mine changes like every stage, honestly. But I've been having a struggle, which I'll talk about. But I don't know, man. I mean, I know people bomb Toa, but I don't think it's like the most conventional strategy. And you have all the pieces to do a more normal strategy, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. But I also have Mantura now, so I think this is another question. But it's like, does Mantura take the place of Spectra in my team at this point?
I mean, on some stages, sure, but Spectra has an invaluable place on you know,
Boss stages.
boss stages on any boss stage. That's the only place I use Spectra. But I mean, that's the thing is each monster has like stages that it'll be good on, and sometimes I mean so I'll talk a tiny bit about it. Basically, I ruined a bunch of things really weird at FRR, and I like didn't even ruin my Toa team. So like my Toa hard team is on full leftover runes right now, and it's a struggle. I'm trying to clear Toa 90 as we're talking, and I failed it twice, which isn't too bad. But 80 to 90 was just like I can't auto. Like I have to manual. It feels worse than the first time I cleared Toa hard right now. And it's because I didn't prioritize my Toa team like a fool, and I could just wait till free rune removal and then do it then. But I'm not that kind of person. I'm not smart enough to do that. So here I am, just struggling the most. But that's the thing is like while I'm struggling, I'm like constantly switching different comps and trying to auto and throwing certain things in. I'm like pairing like Mav and Gani to have this like turbo CC team, which I'm actually really liking. And then sometimes twins are working for me, but sometimes not because I'm using a level 35 Verad who is unskilled as my CC because I ruined my Poseidon as a nuker because I'm a fool.
Yep.
and my Asthma is super squishy, and nothing that I've normally done to get through Toa hard is working right now. But I'm going to clear Toa. I'm either going to kill myself. Sorry for the insensitive me killing myself, but I'm literally either going to die or I'm going to clear Toa 90 while we're doing this cast and summon my LND before the cast is over. One of those two things is going to happen to me today.
It's been good. Sure. It's been good, Keith.
Honestly, it's feeling really rough. Right, I'm struggling on I'm at the boss stage on Toa 90 right now, and
what are you gonna do for the ragdoll stage? Like,
I'm gonna dot the ragdoll stage down like I always fucking do, and it takes me 15 attempts to get the RNG to line up perfectly. But that's fine. I'm not even worried about the ragdoll stage, man. I'm just worried about I'm not worried about anything. It's just the annoying. What I normally do on Toa is like I put my team in there and it autos and it'll clear the floor like 50% of the time if like the CC and the like RNG and the dots all line up. And now it's like crucial monsters that I use to do that are ruined differently, and it's failing like 90% of the time now. But if I manual it, I can make it do it. It's just like I basically made my Toa team unable to auto by being stupid. And I'm freaking regretting it a lot.
Well, I only made it to 85 on the last rotation. I'm hoping to push past on this rotation. I don't know that it's gonna happen, but gotta be hopeful.
85 is good though. I mean, if you can do 80, then like that's it. You know what I mean? Like 80 is fine. If you can clear Toa hard 80, you're fine, and everything beyond that is just gravy. And I mean, obviously we all want the LND and the legendary, but I'm sure you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So getting the crystals and everything is super important. And I can already feel the difference from like having last month's 300 crystals from the stage. And the devil too, like golly, the devil, can't forget about that.
I mean, the devil is huge, and that's what I'm saying. Like getting up to 80, it gives you everything except the LND and the legendary, and like those obviously are very strong, and everyone wants them. But the really important part is getting the Devilmon, getting the crystals, getting all the stuff, up to it. So,
right. Well, while I'm thinking about it, so we're talking about progression a little bit, which is something Keith and I wanted to touch on, unless you have more Toa thoughts. But
no, that's it. I just wanted to say, don't ruin your Toa team stupid for no reason.
Yeah,
I think that's really low-hanging advice. But if I had one piece of advice, don't ruin your Toa team stupid for no reason. That's it. That's all the advice I have to our listener.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So one thing that we definitely experienced, especially like when we were both kind of starting to play, is this idea of wanting to progress just to progress. And I think you guys, know what I'm talking about. I had Keith there to kind of talk me down from a bunch of cliffs, so to speak.
I really try, man.
Where I was running a Dragons team with a Jasoon in there. Ooh, those were the days. Anyway,
those were the days.
The idea behind what I'm getting at, though, is I see it a lot in myself, and I see it a lot in other people too. But they're so ready to like push into all the cool content that they try to skip a lot of the important stuff. Like when we say like you need to run Giants B10, it doesn't mean like get a team together that can run it in 5 minutes and then you're good to go and you can move on from that. Like you need to get a stable team that can run it, in 2 minutes and consistently run that for months. And not really focus on raids. Like raids are only important when you have runes that need grinding. So, let's forget about raids. Let's forget about rifts and
I think another way to phrase what you're saying is a lot of people associate progression. Like they get on Reddit, they see a guide, they watch a video, and they're like, oh, run Giants, then run Dragons, then clear Toa, then run Necro. Like people say that and everyone's like, cool. And they clear Giants with their like Veramos or their Sig Fusion. And then they immediately make a Dragons team, which is like 5 minutes awful. And then they're like somehow cobble together a 5-star Necro team while struggling through Toa hard and like failing on all stages everywhere. And they're like, I made it to end game. And it's like, no, actually, like, no, you gotta you gotta do all those like progression. The more if you log in and you farm and you summon and you rune things and you 6-star things, that is progression. Clearing a dungeon is not progression, is the way I would phrase that. But keep going. You sounded like I cut you off. So
no, you're fine. It's just like, a lot of people will try to just like piecemeal teams together with stuff that they've built that they thought was cool or built for another reason or whatever. And if it works and you're having fun, like that's great. But if you want to like, if you want like advice and you want to progress, like the best advice is to look at the guides out there. Like the cookie cutter teams are there for reasons because they're efficient and they work. And one of the things that people will run into is they will see some of these other teams that people have put together after 40 or 50 days clearing B10s. Excuse me. And those people who are running those teams and making those Reddit posts, at least all the ones that I've seen, are all people doing so on alt accounts, on accounts that they probably, and I don't know for sure, but I would guess, built the initial cookie cutter team, learned the game, and progressed and did a lot. And then they were like, I'm going to start another account and do something interesting with that. So, it's food for thought.
I mean, it's that, I mean, you see it all the time. And this is something that you need to consider. And I think that most people who listen to this podcast aren't here, but it's something if you have a friend thinking about it or this or that, the game is grindy and you see people all the time. The first question you hear people ask all the time, and I asked it a million times myself too, like, do I need to fuse Veramos to run Giant, right? Do I need to fuse Veramos to run Dragons? Whatever. And it's like, of course not. Of course you don't need to fuse Veramos, But eventually you're going to want a Veramos. Like, he's super crucial in a bunch of those places, and eventually, sure, you're not going to use him as much, like us now, but it's like the easiest route to running Giants and to running Dragons is to fuse a Veramos, not to build these like different odd awkward teams. And if it's like the effort that goes into fusing a Veramos feels too much, if it feels too grindy or too hard to fuse a Veramos, you're playing the wrong game. You should be playing to have fun, and if it's fun to beat it without fusing a Veramos, that's fine. But if your reason for not fusing one is that it's too much, it's too much of a struggle to like farm the essences and awaken the mobs and level them up to fuse that Veramos, then you're probably playing the wrong game. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're playing the right game your own way, But if that is a grind for you, that's what I'm saying. If the fusing of Veramos is too much of a grind, not that you want to think outside the box or you want to be a special snowflake or whatever, those are all fine reasons to not fuse a Veramos. But if fusing one is too much of a grind, you are wildly in over your head.
Yeah. And I we keep kind of like trying to like put a disclaimer on our statements, and I just want to make like one general overarching statement. This is for people who are learning and progressing and wanting to get to some of the mid in-game content and have that. It was in me, and I'm sure it's in a lot of people. It's just kind of like this resistance to go along the norm because you feel like you might have an easier way to do it. But these teams exist for a reason. And for those people out there that, want to get to that content, they want it easy and they want the advice and the help and all that on the progression. Like the guides that are out there are really good. They're really strong, and they're the cookie cutter teams for a reason. And like even with me, like I still fight against it. Like I just 6-star
every day, man. I'm telling you, every day, look at you. Look at your Toa team, dude. Look at you.
Like
you
I said, like
use that bomber for your Toa team. Don't do it, Jaron. Don't do it. Just 6-star Beretta. You did it.
Like it's, when I read that like it could be used in Toa, my immediate thought was like, yeah, you probably need a Ciara to do that. And then I was like, well, it is like an AoE stun, and it's like in bomb damage, like ignore defense basically. So it's like ignore defense. Got a nice multiplayer, and I was like, maybe it could be good, And I was like, what am I even doing? I don't even have a place for it. Like I could barely get it done with the cookie cutter team, and here I am like trying to sub people out. Like I can't clear Toa, so or I haven't yet. Doesn't mean I can't, but like I haven't. And like I'm already trying to like change my team with new units, and like it's not gonna magically make my team clear because I pulled the Wind Cobalt Bomber Taurus.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I fight this all the time. And I guess the point is like if we both try, and I just started an arena match that I'm going to lose. What am I doing? Don't do arena wings and do podcasts. If you're trying to progress efficiently, there are guides out there to help you do that. That's all we're saying. I don't play to max efficiency. I know Keith doesn't play to max efficiency either. Like we're both talking about how bad we are at our arena wings the other week. Like there are plenty of things that we're still like getting a whole grasp on, but that's our advice. We see it in ourselves a lot, especially. So I just thought, maybe I could get on a soapbox for a bit. And on that note too, like if you play this game and you start grinding giants, and you run giants for the first year that you play this team while you build a speed team and a Toa team and all that, like you will not end up regretting it. Like you're going to have some great Swift runes to build super fast units with, and you're going to be able to use those runes everywhere in the game. Good Swift sets do not go out of style, no matter what people may tell you. So
they don't. Not ever.
That's the thing. Like you can, and you're never really done really running any of the dungeons, but giants, especially, it's just those runes are so crucial. And you'll get to a point where like you have plenty of Swift sets and things are feeling good. You've got more than enough runes for your units to do what they need to do and be really fast and really good at it. And I think that's when you really start to consider like building a team to run dragons, not once you've cleared giants, the first time with 50% success rate, then you go to dragon. It just doesn't work that way.
So. It should be about fun. The game should be about fun, but you should, when you're thinking about progression, you should be thinking about, running the things that you're capable of doing and doing it well, not just rushing through all the content and then being like, wow, I'm like so special, like I'm so spread out and I have no specialization, and you're gonna have to go back and run giants efficiently forever, and dragons and necro, and like sure, if you decide you want to start in one place versus another or this versus that, that's fine. But at the end of the day, like you're never gonna save yourself grinding. You know, you have to grind everywhere a lot, and you might as well like spend the time and take the time to do it in a way that works for you, but also that makes sense, you know, for your future progression, because you're going to have to grind giants, you're going to have to grind dragons, you're going to have to grind all of them, you know, but it's going to be harder to do. If you don't spend the time in giants, or you don't build the right team in giants, it's going to be harder to do dragons. And the same thing for, you know, Necro and Raid and Toa and all of this. And you can save yourself a lot of grief by focusing on, you know, progression and what that means as, like, you know, rune quality and monsters and team compositions and building those, as opposed to focusing on, you know, just clearing something any way possible, you know, crystal refreshing your way through. Sure, do it once for the, you know, the L&D scroll, but then go back and farm giants and make your giants team good and get good runes and continue moving forward, you know. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's like, I think we've kind of beat this point to death, but I think that's what we mean.
Yeah. And like I said, like, giants, you know, never goes out of style. You're gonna get runes there that you'll use for the rest of, you know, the time playing the game. So anyway, yeah, that was our soapbox for the night. It was just, it's something I still, like I said, I still fight against, and I see other people doing the same thing. And this is just a reminder to myself and to everyone else. So
yeah,
I'm bad at this game.
It's good to think about that, because there's times, man, like me right now, I'm 2 out of 5 monsters dead on Toa 90 that I've been literally doing since we started the cast, and I'm questioning my whole life. You know, but maybe if I just run some more giants, I wouldn't be in this place. Maybe if I had ruined my team properly, maybe if I hadn't thought that I could, like, shortcut my progression, you know, by ruining my Rift team, then, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jaren? How long have we been going so far? I actually have no reference of how long we've been talking.
We're actually at the 47-minute mark. So
okay, yeah, I think we can call it here, man. We were gonna talk about fusions and stuff, but we can talk about them later. Fusion monsters, where they're useful. We already told people to fuse Veramos, but legitimately Sig might be better as a first fusion. So, you know, my whole rant about fusing Veramos was more like a theoretical rant, guys, right? You know, fuse the right stuff. Don't necessarily fuse Veramos first.
Well, I think when we started playing, Vero was probably a better option, because they buffed Sig after we had, like, already had our team set up and stuff, where he, like, AoE freezes now. So
yeah, Sig is super strong now, and there's a bunch of ways that you can get around fusing Vero. And there always have been, but yeah, Sig might be the better first fusion at this point. But we can maybe hit that in the next cast. You guys can let us know. Like,
we can talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, shoot us a comment, right? Let us know, man. Who would you fuse first now? You know, what are your thoughts on that? Like, did you guys, you know, I don't know, like Jaren, right? Like, he's always got all these, like, different ideas, and I think it's. I think it's great to be that invested, to constantly be thinking outside the box and outside of the, you know, different teams and this and that. But, like, what's something that, like, you guys built that did not go well? Like, you built it to think, like, to shortcut progression, right, for one of your dungeon teams or Toa, and didn't go well. Let us know that, because I'm curious to see what people were, you know, thinking on that.
So just FYI,
I've been very cookie cutter, but
I was trying to keep up with Keith. He's always been just a hair ahead of me since we've been playing, like, and that progression, like, he plays a little more than I do, a little more focused than I do. So, you know, it's not, like, going to hurt my feelings. Like, he works hard to get the progression he has. But when he started running dragons, I was like, I want to start running dragons. And I had a Chow, and I 6-starred my Chow, and I had a Chasun who was already 6-star, I think. And I was like, I'm going to use these units. They're both pretty good. And then I was like, Vero, Sig, and, like, maybe Verd. I don't remember. I don't know. It's been a while. Maybe it was Megan. Who cares? Anyway, so I was, like, running this team, and basically it would end up just being Chasun and Chow at the final boss, and the runs were taking, like, 4.5 minutes, and I was not happy, because I was not doing very much with that kind of team. Like,
I remember this, and I remember very distinctly. I'm sure you remember your feeling when I was like, "Hey, man, maybe you shouldn't be running dragons right now."
Yeah.
And you were like, I can't even look at giants anymore. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, oh no, man, like this is bad. But that being said, like I'll rune a dungeon team for free rune removal, and at the end of that month, I don't want to look at that dungeon anymore either. So it doesn't mean I don't ever want to go back to it, but it's like if I hadn't been running, like if I had to keep like these last 2 months, if I'd continued running, giants, I'd have gone insane and burned out by now. But I took a month for dragons, I took a month for necro, and I'm going to be going back to giants soon.
Yeah.
So like taking a break is one thing, but but yeah, man, those 4 to 5 minute Chasun Chao dragons runs were. I was just. The thing was, you weren't super open about what your team was. You were just like, I'm running dragons now. And I'm like, okay, man. And sure. Like what? And then eventually I saw your team and I was like, dude, you might want to go back to giants.
And part of the fun too is like, I do like the theory crafting side. And so I wanted to like find something that worked that I had, and I found it. And like, once I crossed that bridge and it was, I don't know if it was 100% successful, but it was like successful enough, like 90, 95, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And so once I finally like crossed that bridge, it was like, okay, you did it. Yeah. Now go back to like the right thing, which is giants right now. So anyway, I say all that to say like, I'm not immune to not playing as efficiently as possible, but, anyway, guys, one thing I do want to mention before we head out, and, I meant to do this at the beginning of the cast, so I'm really sorry, guys, that I didn't do it. But shout out to all of our listeners. You guys, we asked you to join the Discord, or really just like threw it out there as like a thing, and we had a ton of people join this last week. I'm getting to the point where like now there are people there, and I'm like, when did you join? Did I say hi to you? Have I made sure like we're cool? So that's the thing. That's so cool to me is like, we threw it out there. We do enjoy like talking to people in the Discord, and you guys really, really kind of surprised me with how many people we had join. I think it was like almost 10, I think. So
definitely it's
like doubled our number in there.
Yeah. And there's like a good amount of people like active in there. Like if you need advice, if you have questions, you're bored at work, like anytime I tab over to our Discord channel, there's new messages, new people, new stuff happening. And it feels really good. It feels super wonderful. And like all the people in there are chill and respectful and have good opinions. There's some dudes who are like doing crazy hardcore progression. There's other dudes who are, more casual. It's like a good mix, but it feels really good. It feels like, I'm despite it being small, I'm really proud of the community, that we've all kind of, come together. Like the people, that listen to this cast, that join the Discord, that comment on our videos, and that hit us up with stuff. Like everyone has a really good head on their shoulders and does, there's a lot of like, I'm always like interested in what people are doing, because there's so many different perspectives and like different stages of the game that people are at. And it's awesome. Sorry to co-opt your point, but fuck yeah, man. Like I agree so much.
Totally cool. So, I've been surprised. Like one of the things when Keith started the Discord, I was like low key, like, and I don't know if it was as low key as I was trying to be. I probably came off a little high key, but, I was like kind of scared. I was like, I don't want to have to like moderate people. Like, I don't want to I don't like confrontation as a person. And I was like, if someone's like being rude, I'm like scared I'm going to have to like kick people and like all this other stuff. And like, I've had like not a negative experience at all. People have asked about like the rules for the Discord, and I don't think we have like an official rule, but I know Keith's rule with any group ever is don't be a dick. And it's that simple. And I like it. So, it's been my go-to response is like, it's that easy. Just don't be a dick to people. And
there's not like a hard set of rules that you can write down that's going to cover every situation, but you can like you in your own heart and head can tell if something is right or wrong. You know what I mean? Like, does this fit in this group of people or these, you know what I mean? Like like you can't necessarily point at a set of rules that encompasses what behavior is or isn't acceptable. But as soon as you see unacceptable behavior, you know it. And all of the people in our Discord know it and regulate themselves. And it's beautiful and surprising. I don't have any faith in humanity. And I am radically surprised by the fact that everyone is so awesome in our Discord.
Yeah.
Also, quick Toa hard update. I've cleared the right occult girl at Toa Hard 90 with only Ariel, Gani, and Asima, and I'm now working down the left occult girl.
Oh my goodness!
And I think I'm actually going to be able to beat it, but we'll see.
I hope you do. And again, thanks everyone for joining. It's open as always. If you haven't joined yet, it's not too late. The Discord will stay up indefinitely for now. So yeah, if you guys want just a chill place to hang out, you can also drop us messages. We've actually had our first few people like, hey, maybe you guys should talk about this. And it's been really cool. And we're going to take those into account, guys. We're not just going to take them in and ignore them because, obviously if we get a suggestion from a listener, then maybe we should listen to that. So anyway, yeah, you can drop us DMs. You can tell us how bad we suck or hate mail or suggestions, really whatever you want. And we're grateful either way. So, let us know. And like same as last week, it's going to be on the Reddit thread for the week. So with no video, that should probably be pretty easy to put up a Reddit thread, right? Or am I wrong on that? You still have to
I mean, this is
something. I don't know.
I mean, this is going to be up. I'm going to post a Reddit thread tomorrow for this. So
okay, cool.
It'll be up quick.
Anyway, so there it is, guys. Join the Discord. If you have any feedback, let us know. And honestly, just thanks for everything, guys. You guys have made this something more than I thought it could be. So I'm really happy to do it each week and see what people say.
Definitely, I agree with all of that, and that's it for me this week. This will be up soon. You guys will hear it, and we're going to continue with the weekly podcasts. We're looking for another guest in the future, and otherwise, I appreciate all you guys, and you'll hear from me again in about a week.
Yeah, thanks, and see you guys next week.